we were just feeling like this quarter life crisis of like, I feel like everything that I've been sold about life is a lie. I went to college, I got the job. How come I feel completely miserable and so exhausted when we should be at the prime of our lives?
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Yeah, welcome everybody to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I'm so grateful to have you here. We have some amazing, wonderful experts, I want to say, and as I said, with Dana, I says they've been taking the world by storm or by fire or whatever, however I said it, and it's ever since 2019, and they've really, I mean, I know they've taken this to a very high level, ninja level with the human design stuff. So don't be fooled. These guys are something else. That because some people be like, how much do you know about human design? You've only been around since 2019. Man, they know a lot. They're really dialed in. I'm really looking forward to hearing what they have to share about it. And yeah, so glad to have both of you here, Dana and Shayna.
Amazing. Thanks so much for that introduction with so much energy and passion. I mean, I'm loving a lot of your metaphors that you've been giving us, like ninja level. I'm definitely going to borrow that and put that in our bio because I love it. It's inspiring.
Okay, cool. All right, Shayna, you're there in Spain, so congrats on being there. And what a wonderful, I had so many friends from Spain back when I was in grad school. It was like I had a whole circle of friends from Spain. They're wonderful people.
Yeah, no, it's been so beautiful here. And I'm just grateful that, well, my strategy and authority led me here. If you are familiar with human design, you'll know what that is if you're listening. But yeah, just completely trusting it and I moved my whole family here. And now we're just exploring. So it's been a wild ride with a 1-year-old.
Oh, I bet. Keep you jumping, right? I've got three kids, two of my own, and so I know what it's like as a dad on a dad level, right? But so yeah, let's talk about
Yes.
your story. Now, I did talk about you guys coming on strong ever since 2019. What a perfect time, right before COVID and everything, right? I'm sure you guys have thought about that a lot. And there's been a number of people that have told me that, like, man, I got online in 2019, everything just took off, right? And it's like this
Yeah.
big wave of energy happened for a number of people that, not everybody, but a number of people that entered at that time. And I think if we look at human design, right, and astrology, which is what you guys rock, I imagine we would find like the reasons for that, wouldn't we? I'd love to hear like your perspective on that as it relates to you and the collective of how people were experiencing that during that time.
Yes, absolutely. So, first of all, Shayna and I have known each other forever. We were best friends in college. And, when we graduated college, we went out into the world and got corporate jobs and really quickly felt completely burnt out. Like we were in our early to mid 20s and struggling to have the energy to make it into our corporate jobs. And so, right before that, a couple years before 2019, we were just feeling like this quarter life crisis of like, I feel like everything that I've been sold about life is a lie. I went to college, I got the job. How come I feel completely miserable and so exhausted when we should be at the prime of our lives? And so, as best friends, we just kind of went on this dark night of the soul and spiritual quest to discover answers. Like, if this isn't it and this life that I've been sold is a lie, then what is it? Who am I? What am I supposed to be doing? So, in that process, we were really reading everything we could and staying up on the phone all night long talking about meditation and breath work and astrology, going to retreats, learning how to do meditation in different forms. And along that journey, we discovered human design. And the second that we discovered human design, it resonated for us like no other system that we had discovered yet. Like it just was a profound light bulb moment in our lives. And Shayna and I both feel on a spiritual level that it's part of our calling to work specifically with this system. And the first time that we looked at a human design chart, it was almost like this intuitive knowing, like a remembering, like I know what this means, even though I'm still learning it. I know complex things about it that then you read more about it and you reaffirm that. And so for both of us, it just stood apart from anything else because it felt so natural for us. It really clicked into gear for us and it became our obsession. So as best friends, every single day. So in human design, there's your strategy and authority. As Shayna mentioned before, there are these two components of your unique chart that you can practice, that you can apply and experiment into your life. And so for 1 month, Shayna and I were like, we're both going to follow our strategies and authorities hardcore. Like we are going to go all the way and we're going to see what happens in this 1 month of experimenting. And lo and behold, in that 1 month, everything in our lives began to shift. We got such radical clarity about what needed to end in our life, what was inauthentic for us that we had been carrying on with and draining our energy around. We got so many invitations and opportunities, like literally flooding in, invitations to go to Costa Rica and teach at a retreat or help out at a retreat, like invitations to learn classes. We'd just be reading a human design book and people would walk up to us and be like, what are you girls reading? We'd be like, oh, it's this book on human design. They're like, oh, do you do readings? I'd love to learn from you. Like there was just so much energy and magnetism in that 1 month and clarity. And before that, we had been struggling. Like we had been feeling completely depleted, a lack of clarity, no magnetism at all. And so after doing that experiment for a month, we were really sold. It just resonated with us. Like this is a better way to operate our energies. And it gave us a lot of answers personally in our own lives about why we had been struggling in the way that we had. So that month led us on a whole new path where we're like, okay, we have to quit our corporate jobs. We have to break up with that old boyfriend or whatever it is. You know, we had all of these big life changes that our inner authority, which is your inner decision-making, intuitive decision-making, and every person will have a different inner authority based on their design. So our inner intuition was like, these are the changes you have to make. Are you brave enough to do it? And so for both of us, you know, we had a series of events in our lives around that time. Both of us experienced losing our dads, and our dad's passing was a huge catalyst in our life of like, if not now, when? And, you know, what is life really? If life is this illusion and life is this dream or this playground, are we going to wait until we feel ready or brave enough to start our own path or become entrepreneurs? Or are we just going to follow our inner intuition? And so we really felt empowered as best friends doing this strategy, you know, a lot of other factors in our lives to just go for it. And so we ended up, you know, starting a business first with human design. What we originally were doing was creating these ritual kits that had crystals and essential oils and other tools that would help you with your human design. And also it included a booklet that explained what your chart means and how to apply those things. So that's what we started with. And along the journey, we just got so many invitations. People were like, I want to listen to you guys talk about this on a podcast. So we started a podcast. People were like, I want to go on a retreat with you and learn about this in person. So we started doing retreats. People were like, I want to learn how to become a human design reader. So we started doing trainings. You know, it was a very natural process.
You must be responder type.
Well, for us, it was invitations that were coming in.
That's right. By invitations. So
yeah, those invitations were coming in. But, you know, talking about this point that you mentioned, the cosmic shifts that are happening, you know, human design talks a lot about how human consciousness is evolving. And we can look back in time and we can look forward in time based on the human design transits or astrological transits that are connected to this system. And 2027, which we are getting so close to, is this pivotal point that the founder of human design, Ra Ruhu, stated that this point is really going to be when globally we shift into a brand new energy cycle where we are experiencing brand new lessons and building our lives in a brand new way. And so a lot of the shifts that we have seen pre-COVID and then COVID and post-COVID, I feel like are part of the crumbling of an old world, an old paradigm, and the birth of a new world and a new paradigm. And human design, astrology, other spiritual modalities are definitely a part of this great awakening or transition. And the collapse of old structures that didn't allow for individualism or individualistic empowerment. Those structures like school systems, work systems, Western medical hospitals, prisons, like any religions, any structure that was built in the old paradigm and old ways of confining people, being an authority over you, not allowing you to have the space to become your unique self. All of those structures are crumbling in this era, the years leading up to 2027. And we're really being asked to create new structures and systems that allow individuals to be their true self. So in schools, imagine a world where kids get to learn in a way that's authentic for them, where they don't get punished from a young age for being something that they're not, or for trying to be something that they're not. And so, with starting in 2019, right before COVID, it's really fascinating, in a human design perspective. This is a time where humans are ready for this level of knowledge, for this self-awareness. And that wasn't true probably 10 years or 20 years before for most people.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, human design, I don't think it was something I was aware of until, I would definitely the 2010s, but yeah, before that, forget about it. I didn't know anything about human design. And, it'd be people that would come into my programs and stuff, right? My certifications, and be saying, yeah, my human design. And I'm very much of a metaphysical based person historically, especially like, come on, forget the stars and all that crap, man. We're creators. We're doing it. Come on. We're the ones in charge, not the stars, damn it, or your design. You are whoever you want to be and all that stuff. But what happened for me over the years was I started realizing, well, yeah, and guess what? Things might be a little easier if you go with the flow of the design, though. Like rather than just trying to be like I'm this unlimited power and infinite being. I can do what I want. And it's fun for a little while until like you run into the pain and the heartache of that as well. Like, see, I manifested that no matter what. Like, and then it's like, oh yeah, but what about this over here and how hard that was sometimes, or maybe some of the energy that happens on the backside of the manifestations and all that stuff, right? It doesn't just so effortlessly happen that way all the time. So I've really come to honor it. And I know you guys agree because every human design, person I've talked to always agrees. I'm like, of course, anything can be used as like an excuse. Like, but you understand the reason why I'm struggling is my human design. I'm like, shut up. Like, no, you're not struggling because of human design, because you're not listening. You're not listening to your authority. You're not listening, to you're not trusting yourself. You need to work out maybe some more of your stuff, whatever. There's a number of reasons why things aren't happening, but sometimes I just pin it on. I'm just cursed with, like you guys, like especially projectors, right? I'm cursed as a projector. I can do nothing till I'm invited. How's it ever going to work for me? And I'm like, well, easily,
Yes.
like, doesn't
Which,
mean.
trust me, been there for sure.
Yeah,
That was a part of our journey, was that check-in point of like, this sucks. Who chose this for me? Because it wasn't me. And then coming back around to realizing, oh, I'm the problem. It's not my design.
Right, right. So Shayna, what's your take on all that? Like the fact that, hey, you're giving it as, because some people like me that are ultimate like rebels at one level of my being, like I'm like, yeah, screw it all. Like how can you help people make more peace with this human design thing? Because I'm not the typical spiritual person, where I'm just like, what? Oh, sounds good. Yeah, flow with it, whatever it is. I'm more like discerning and like I'm not sure. Like kick the tires a little bit on that and like how can you help people make more peace with the fact that they might, projectors especially, like people that know about human design, how do you help people make peace with their design?
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy because human design is trying to give language to something that is energetic, something that is felt, right? So there is languaging that some people use or have used that can feel limiting or can box you in and kind of shut you down, right? It feels disempowering. But the entire system is meant to liberate you, meant to empower you, right? Meant to give you your authority back, to get out of your mind, to stop comparing, to stop having judgment, to stop trying to be something that you're not, and instead be fully empowered to do what is right for you and to know how to listen to yourself, to know who you actually are and what your gifts are and what your purpose is. So if there's anything in human design that you hear that you're like, oh, that sucks. One, it might be because of how it was communicated. It's not really communicating the essence of what it's really meant to do for you. And then the other thing could be that you are in your not self, which is, you're when you're out of alignment. And each of the types has like this check engine light that kind of tells you when you're out of alignment. And so for projectors, it's bitterness, right? If you're feeling bitterness, then you know that most likely it's you and not, the system or someone else. If it's like what Dana was saying, right? Of like, gosh, that sucks. It would be nice if I could have been a manifester or a generator, or a mangen or whatever. It's like, okay, you're bitter. You need more rest. You need to focus on what fascinates you more. You need to come back and look at, your own lane and stop trying to like be like someone else. That's essentially what you're doing, right? So for each of the types, manifestors, their check engine light is anger and feeling angry. And that can come through with resentment. That can come through in small ways, passive aggressive behaviors. For generators,
aggressive.
Are you a manifester, Daniel?
I'm a manifesting generator, so I have a little.
Okay, you do.
Got a little anger in there.
Got a little touch of that anger, that spice,
which we love.
It's part of you.
It's a good flavor to have.
It is, and generators and manifesting generators. Your not self theme and check engine light is frustration. But like you said, if you're a manifesting generator, you also have that little touch of anger, and frustration comes through in small ways, like just being over life or just being like, you don't even want to talk to your partner. You don't even want to engage with that thing in like a kind of just like, way. Right. Then there's reflectors, and that's that disappointment, like just being disappointed with the world, with your friends, with your family. Like it sucks. You wish you had a different family. You wish you had a better job, like that disappointed feeling. Right. So if you're feeling any of those things based on your type, that it's you and that you can like kind of come back into, okay, how can I take accountability? How can I, maybe just observe myself without fear or without needing to have defensiveness in some way. Like, what is it that I'm protecting? Is it my ego? Is it, whatever. But so I will say though, that there is so much, especially traditional human design, languaging that can feel, if it's not communicated with the full context, it can feel very limiting and boxing you in. And like, if you just come back to the core of human design, like you are your own authority. So even if something in human design, like it's not meant to be your authority, it's not meant to tell you something that feels like it's stripping you of your power. Like everything, every essence is trying to remind you and empower you that you are the sovereign being of your life, and the energy around you, how it's impacting you, how you're impacting it. Like it's within your dominion or your control to change and to navigate. So just like you were saying with like, you can go out there and you can do whatever you want and be whoever you want to be. And that's absolutely right. Like human design is never going to tell you what you should want, what your dreams are, what you want to manifest, what you want to create. It's going to tell you, okay, you want a mansion in Tuscany. Great. Here's how you go about doing that. You want a $5 million company next year. Like, okay, great. You're a projector, do it this way. You're a generator with these gifts, do it this way. So it's always just telling you, this is your energetic car, your energetic vehicle. Here's how you drive it. I'm not going to tell you where you're going. Your G center in human design, your magnetic monopole, your unique energetic geometry is pulled towards where you are meant to be in this life, whether that is because of your karma or because of, you know, whatever languaging you want to put with it, your purpose or your dharma or whatever. Human design isn't going to tell you go here or go there. It's going to say, here's how you tune in to drive your vehicle, instead of giving the keys to someone else and letting them drive it your whole life. And then all of a sudden you're like, where the fuck am I? Like, how did I get here? I don't even like the view. I don't even like anything here, which is what happens to the majority of people, usually around the age of 43 when they're going through their Uranus opposition. But it's so empowering. And it's been the system that we've seen over thousands and thousands of readings. Like, it resonates, it empowers, and it just truly like helps, gives you the blueprint, the manual of like, here's how you do it. And honestly, other systems, I love other systems, but what I really love about human design is that it's so tangible. Like, these are actionable steps you can take right now today with like your next interaction or your next decision. Here's like something you can really do to see results. And that feels just so like you were saying, like powerful, like, okay, go out there and do it. Like, do whatever you want. You can, and you absolutely can.
Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate, Make Money meditation today. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, with there's a stereotype, given you're both projectors, 2 4s, right? I read that in
Yes.
bio, right? But what are the one of the things that I hear from projectors, because I just ask the questions that kind of come to me here with this, is they say, well, you know, I'm too incisive if I try to directly go after, you know, my thing, right? And so I'm like, all right, you know, you should do this, you should do that. That's how projectors usually are, like when they come in with their consultations, right? Like if they haven't refined themselves more, right? They're like, they start taking over and people are like, screw you, get out of my face. Like, so
Yes.
isn't that interesting? Like, I just love, I mean, and then it's frustrating, you know, until they master living their design, like to be like, no, don't do that. Hold back basically. And like, they're like,
Yeah,
I'm screwed. I have to wait for the invitation. So can you explain
totally.
about that? Because I think the projector type is one of the, I don't know, you guys tell me, isn't it one of the most confusing types for people?
It's definitely one of the most specifically different than how we're taught to live. You know what I mean? It's like life is
True.
not designed for projectors, and projectors are the newest energy type of the 5 that have incarnated the most recently. In 1781, we saw the first people incarnating as a projector type. So they are new. They're also a part of the shift that we're seeing, this awakening that's happening and the changes that are making. And they are literally here to guide the energy use of others. So it's not about what projectors build on their own. It's not even about what they do in their lives. It's much more like their cosmic role is about being someone who helps guide the people around them. So that's a really interesting dichotomy, because projectors also are here to wait for the invitation and not give unsolicited advice. So something inside of every projector is like, all I want to do is help people. All I want to do is tell my friend that she's an idiot and should break up with his boyfriend, because I see it so clearly and I know I'm right. And, you know, for me, before I knew I was a projector, that's a real life example, by the way. And when I was in college, we had this friend who was dating this guy and he was just horrible. Like, honestly, I saw all of the things that she didn't see. I was literally worried for her safety. And so I started to tell her, like, hey, I don't think you should be with this person. These are some things that I think you're not seeing. I'm actually worried about this on a physical, like, danger level. And so she just started hiding from me and not answering my phone. And like, I was like, what? I was so confused. Like, I'm right and I love her and I'm seeing things she doesn't want to see, but she doesn't want to hear my advice. And in fact, she shut me out of her life for trying to help her. And it was this light bulb moment for me before knowing I was a projector. Like, oh, people don't always want you to guide them if they're not ready to hear what you have to say. And so before knowing I was a projector, I did start dialing it back just naturally, because I would observe the friction that I was creating when I was inserting myself in people's life without them asking me to. And when I discovered that I was a projector and I need to wait for the invitation, it made so much sense to me. It was like, like, if only I knew this before, I had to struggle, I had to find my way. And then I found human design to validate this for me. But on that level, it really makes sense. Now, on the other level, as a projector, you are here to experience success. That's your signature theme. So we talked about your not self theme as a projector is bitterness. That's how you know you're out of alignment. But your self theme or your signature theme when you're in alignment is success. So projectors want to be successful in the world. They're designed to be, but you're not here to do it by cold calling people and telling them, hey, you should offer, you should be a client of mine. That energy is how we're taught to get clients, and it's very repelling if projectors do it. So that is where projectors often feel a little disempowered at first. Like, wait, I'm here to be successful, I'm here to help people, but I can't tell people what I'm doing or reach out to them and ask if they want my services like everyone else can. And that can feel a little bit disempowering in the beginning. But the truth is, for a projector, there's ways for you to share your gifts without inserting your energy into other people's lives. There's ways for you to communicate what you're excited about and what you're good at without being too pushy and the wording inserting itself into other people's lives. So as a projector, you don't need an invitation to build a business, although you definitely could get one. Like a lot of the things that we created, people literally invited us to do it. And we were like, oh, that's a great idea. I guess I'll say yes to that invitation. But as a projector, you could self-publish a book. And then when people go purchase that book, they've invited you. So it's not disempowering in the way that you think it is when you first hear about being a projector. And in fact, waiting for the invitation benefits the projector because we do not have consistent levels of energy, even if we love what we're doing. A projector could be in love with their job and just simply not have enough energy to do it. Whereas a generator or a manifesting generator, if they're in love with their job, they're going to have the consistent energy needed to do that thing and to see it through to completion. So as a projector, when you're leaking your energy by being repelling and trying to insert yourself when nobody asked you or nobody recognized you, you're wasting your precious resource of energy that is very limited already. So waiting for the invitation helps projectors create boundaries. It helps them realize where they are undervalued and where they don't belong and, quit a job where people don't appreciate them or see their wisdom. It helps you take your power back. It helps you keep the energy that is so precious for you so that you can use it on things that are going to be fruitful in your life. And once you start to see the way that waiting for the invitation actually serves you as the projector, as well as everyone else in your life, that's where you can really start to shift into embracing it and even celebrating it. And now, this one is still hard, I'm going to say, in our personal lives, like especially with our family members, with our partners. If they're not ready to hear something that we see, we do have to kind of swallow it and bite our tongue. And that can be hard because you do love that person, but also to see like, me telling them is only going to create friction for them, repelling energy between us, and bitterness for me. So it really, at the end of the day, is not worth it. It's worth it for me to wait until they're ready. And every wisdom that I glean from observing people in my life, I can teach my clients that stuff that I learned from watching my partner. I can share something, an insight that I got that I can't share with my husband, with people on my podcast. And thousands of people can learn from my wisdom. People who are ready, people who recognize my insight. So in that way, you can see that you can kind of recycle your wisdom and put it in the right avenues. You're not limited. You're not boxed in. It's just, where are you giving your energy? Is it aligned for you and for the other person, or is it misaligned?
Right. That makes you even more discerning in a way that's empowering for you because you're not wasting your energy. You're not wasting, wasting your,
Wasting your
I don't
breath.
know, like the crudest way to put it, which I'm not crazy about, but it jumps into my mind. You're not throwing pearls to swine, I just have like, what can I do, right? I can't appreciate it. Why should I even give it? But okay, so that's the projector. So that's I think I think that's helpful, for projectors listening in that may have and even people, because all of us are getting more and more aware about human design, right? So like me, someone who's been to events around human design and also worked with somebody for 3 months that, worked with me on my human design stuff. And yet I still feel like I know nothing about it in a sense, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Like, there's people that study it hardcore for 2 years and still feel like they're just getting started. So what would I know after just 3 months? But from my experience is like, that'll help people that work with projectors that, because everybody's talking about who they are now. I'm a projector. Somebody I just had a call before this. I'm a manifester. And I'm like, yeah, of course you are. A lot of manifestors are attracted to me. It's interesting, right? I'm like, okay, here's another manifester. They don't usually hire me, but they're attracted to me. They're like, yeah, I like you. I want to hang out with you. Maybe we will do something together. Like that's usually how it goes with manifestors. So, but yeah, for me, I guess like as a manifesting generator, I feel, if it's interesting because like what I was trained with was, yeah, like get out of your head and all that, right? When I was doing that work with my coach, mentor, or whatever, and she's like, literally, you're supposed to, and then she's looking at, you have open, closed, and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, defined, undefined. She's like, literally, like, if you're getting downloads, they're usually for other people. And, so don't just be acting on all those ideas. And by the way, you're not supposed to be thinking whatsoever. Like, if your brain's, taking over much at all, forget about it. And everything's got to come from the sacral. I'm the sacral type, right? So, but I used it, like that's, I was very much a tuner in, and I think I was unconsciously tuning into my sacral for a long time. But then when I got the, like, yeah, it is sacral, and I'm like, okay, I'll go direct to sacral now. I'll be focused on it. You know what I mean? So then, from that, I just feel it just gave me maybe a little bit more confidence. But I'm definitely a person of, like, even if my sacral says yes to something and like my overall sense of intuition is like, yeah, but it does, something's not right though. I'm hearing you say yes, but I'm also feeling something else. So I think for me, from my perspective, I'd love to hear you guys' perspective, maybe from you, Shayna, or, but like whoever, but like, I feel like, there's things beyond, like, it's a great pointer. It's really helpful to have these tools. But I think you can go too far, too strict. Like, it's always sacral and don't listen to any other feeling you have. Like, that doesn't make any sense either, right? So I'd love to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I would definitely want to look at your chart to like
Okay.
definitively give you an answer, but you have, obviously most people have at least two centers defined, and that's consistent energy that's coming in. You also, with your undefined centers, you have energies that you're picking up from the world around you, that you are meant to feel the world around you through your undefined centers. Like, we are meant to affect each other, one another, right? So your undefined centers have just as much value as your defined centers that are consistent for you, right? Giving you that sacral authority. But I'm assuming that you have a defined
A lot of
spleen,
undefined. I've got a lot of undefined. I
a
know
lot of
that.
undefined. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you have like it is consistent for you to have a lot of information coming in from other people. Right. So I definitely think that these undefined centers have so much wisdom. Like for us, like it's always a red flag when someone's like, never use your mind, like never have those, you know,
Go too crazy. Yeah, yeah.
because
Uh-oh.
your mind is
Do use your
brilliant. Like,
mind.
yeah, like your mind is
Please.
brilliant. You're here to, use it to create and to teach and, to observe and process and formulate things. Like, you're here to use your mind, but you're just not using your mind to make your big life decisions, right? Like, do I want to move? Do I want to quit this job? Do I want to marry this person? Like, these big decisions, you're meant to be using your body, right? And then when it comes to like your strategy of responding as a manifesting generator, and for generators listening, that really is more about letting your body lead you instead of your mind when it comes to how you're moving through your day, right? So, for example, I like to give this exercise, like carve out a bit of time. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's a whole day, like a free day or a free hour where you have nothing going on, and don't fill it before it comes. Like, a lot of times we're like, oh, I have tomorrow off. Like, I'm going to get a massage, or I'm going to go to this park or do this thing. Like, don't fill it before it comes. Let the time come. And then, like, literally move your body around your house, or like open up a different tab on your computer, like put different stimuli in front of you until you feel like you're naturally already leaning in to engage with it, or like you have energy in your body. So like go look at your car. And if you're like, I could go for a drive, like, nope. Okay. Go look at your bed. And if you're like, ooh, I have energy to just climb in bed, great. Or go look at a bookshelf and literally like, or in a library, and feel like when you're drawn towards a book and you just like have energy to grab it, versus like, I should grab that book. Like I've been meaning to read it and I have time today, right? Noticing the difference in how your body reacts to different stimuli really will teach you how to listen to your sacral and use your strategy of responding, and how subtle it is, and how oftentimes, like you said, you're naturally already doing it, especially if you have sacral authority. We see that so much, that you're naturally already embodying that. And it's just then having the awareness like, oh, that was my sacral response. And that's a green light for me. So then when you're moving throughout your day, you're still observing things, you're still discerning things, or, creating things, or sharing, being a thought leader, whatever it is, you're still using your mind. It's just then saying, okay, what do I want to eat? I'm going to look for the ooh thing. Like, oh, am I into this conversation, or do I feel like, oh, I have to go do this conversation? Right. So that's where your body is trying to guide you to be in the right place at the right time. And for those big decisions, really only going with like, I have energy for that thing, or I don't, like that hell yes gut response, right? Versus the like, I could. And that's a slippery slope. And I think that that's why a lot of teachings can tell you like, never use your mind, because the slippery slope with generators and mangens is that middle ground of like, it's not bad. You don't feel like you're dragging through the mud to do it, but you also don't feel like you're like, ooh, I can't wait to take a bite of this pizza feeling. Right. It's just this middle place of like, blah, I could, it's meh. Like that meh is so easy to say yes to if other people want to do it. So it's
I
just
feel
easy
some
to
good
go
energy.
along.
Let's do it. Why not? Kind of feeling.
Exactly. And that's where we leak our energy. That's where we end up, giving our power away, or being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like you're 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 a magnet as a generator or mangen. So that blah blah energy is the magnetism that you're creating. Like you're creating a blah life over time. It all adds up, versus like every delicious meal that you have is literally adding up to like a delicious life. Like everything that you're like, ooh, I can't wait to watch that show. Like that's adding up to that, ooh, I can't wait to life, right? Versus like, yeah, it's on, I'll just play it. Like it's just what was on TV. That energy, like, okay, you're just going to live a life that's just like there, that's just available right now. So if you can kind of like think of it like that, honestly, it's so funny that you're like that that they said don't use your mind, because human design is literally giving you languaging so your mind can understand. So that way then you can surrender to your body more and let your body make these decisions. So it kind of is like you have to use your mind so much with human design to be able to let your mind go. So your mind can say like, oh, okay, I do trust the driver. I can let
I
go
want
of
to
the
be
wheel.
sure, because the person who told me that may be listening and be like, I didn't say that exactly. I'll just
Yeah,
say
sorry, I'm going hard.
Those weren't my words.
that. But what she really said was, that's sort of how I interpreted it. But what she really said is, your mind, pretty much only is there to observe things. It's not
Yes.
there
Yeah.
to, lead the way. It's how she put it. So to be fair to
I
what she
see. I
told me,
see.
the way I heard it in part, though, at the same time was, F the mind, just go with your sacral. And like, that's how I was hearing it. But like, that's how she actually put it. So I
Yeah.
wanted to clean that up. But like, there are a lot of teachings that say, get out of your head, no head at all. Like, shut up the damn thing up.
Totally.
Take wow.
There are so many like that. And
Yeah.
honestly, like thinking of your mind as the enemy, or your mind is something you need to quiet. But what you just said, that she said, the mind is the observer, that is really one of the key themes in human design. Your mind is here to look at life and say, isn't that interesting? Not this is good, or this is bad, or this is right, or this is wrong. Like we're not here to label and judge and create our identity around what our mind thinks is good or thinks is bad. Or, our mind is very connected to the external world. Our mind can see the society around us. It can hear the stories that it's being programmed, but it's very external. Your mind is here to look out at the 3D plane, to observe it, to quantify it, to take data, to create within this outside external plane. Now, your body, from a human design perspective, is connected to a more inner journey, and your body is also connected to a cosmic unfolding. So this is the big difference here. Your mind cannot ever see your soul contracts or your karma or feel it, but your body can feel, without knowing why, when someone is just wrong for you, or when someone, against all odds, they look horrible on paper, but your body is so drawn to this person. And perhaps that's because you have a karmic energy, a destiny path to be with this person for whatever amount of time. And your mind is like, am I crazy? Like this person is not who my parents would want me to be with. They don't live in my same city. They have all of these red flags on paper in a mental way, but your body is just drawn. So that's where human design talks about, our mind is really important. If we didn't have a mind observing the external world, we would die. We would not make it very far, right? Our mind is brilliant. But when it comes to
navigate the physical world for sure.
Yeah, the physical world. And then our body, the idea that our body is connected to higher planes of knowing and even higher timelines is a really interesting idea. And I think the more that you live your human design journey, but also the more that you're just connected to your body's wisdom, you begin to see that you can really trust this inherent intelligence that we all carry on a cellular level. And it feels empowering, but it also feels like a complete act of surrender, because you don't know why you feel the thing that you feel so strongly in your body. You have to then move in that direction for it to later be revealed. So, while human design is a system that helps you feel empowered and confident to navigate, it's really about navigating the unknown. It's not about having answers about what the future holds. It's about knowing exactly who you are. So no matter what challenge or uncertainty you come across, you know how to navigate it with confidence. And I feel like that's really important, because at first it's like a lot of us get into the self-improvement, I put in quotes, realm, because we want answers. We want a definitive, I want to have my shit together and know exactly what I'm doing. And
I'm doing it right. Yeah.
Yeah. And in a certain way, you can have your shit together by fully feeling your feelings, by knowing who you are. But that does not mean that life is going to be stagnant and you're going to have everything figured out and there's not going to be any curveballs or plot twists, because that's what life is. Life is all about that unknown. And we want the plot twist on a spiritual level. Otherwise, it would be boring.
Totally. So, I mean, no matter what type you are, we're not going to get through everything right now. Let's talk about reflectors. We don't have time to hit everything today.
Sorry, reflectors. They always get left out. Only 1% of the population.
Oh, and manifestors are pretty smaller percentage too,
Yeah,
right? What, 2,
they are.
3, or what is it?
Yeah, less than 10%.
Less than 10%. Okay. I know it's pretty smaller, and then generators are like half or something like that, or a lot of
generators and manifesting generators together are about 70% of the population. So what we just talked about following that response and following your body, what you really want with food and little things like that, that's going to apply to about 70% of the population. So a lot of listeners can take that advice and apply it to their life.
Yeah, because I mean, there's plenty of I think that's something I'm still unhooking from, to be honest with you, is the going, and I always felt like intuitively, that's why you said it, Shayna, there's still times when I'm like, yeah, this feels pretty good. Let's go for it, kind of vibe. And so but then there's other thing. I'm just like, absolutely, that's happening and it's happening now. And it's just I just boom, that's it. It's really strong. And with my wife, I saw her online. It's after getting out of my head and just feeling in with my body and my sacral. And then I scanned because that's why I never dated. I was I'd scan everybody. I'd be like, yeah, no. I wasn't in that way. I didn't have unnecessary relationships, right? I was very discerning, and it's I'm so sick of this. That's it. I'm not, no filters. In other words, no criteria. I'm just going to zoom through it, and I either find them or I don't. And then if I don't find them, then I don't know what I'll do, but I'm just done with this search on here. And then, of course, that conviction and that level of attuning, then I found Dad. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, she's divorced. She has a kid. I said I didn't want that. Great, perfect.
Yeah.
There she is,
That's
And
an
once I
amazing example.
got out of my mind, right, and just
Right.
felt it, I instantly knew. And then when she didn't instantly understand it, like I was like, "What's going on?" Like she wouldn't even respond at first. I'm like, "What's going on?" Just checking out some other guys, I guess. Like, "What's going on? Don't you get it?" Like I didn't say it that way, but that's how I was thinking. I'm like, "Oh my God! Like, come on, isn't this stuff obvious?" That's one of my things throughout my life. Not so much now anymore, but of course, but historically, I'd be like, it's as plain as day. Why can't people? You guys get that too, I'm sure. Like it's plain as day. Why can't you see that? Like, but there's
Yes.
things that other people could see that I can't understand, right? It's plain as day to them. So it's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad what you said. Applies to like 70% of the people that are listening. Is like, I used to a really successful entrepreneur once. I was working at, I was in one of his groups, his top level, whatever groups, and I was talking. So, what are you saying? Like based on what he was saying, we have to be a hell yes or a hell no. Is that what you're saying? And then he says, or a full yes is how I put it. A full yes or full no. He goes, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, oh, great, okay. But I didn't end up listening to that fully on everything. But I think that that's true based on what you guys are saying. Like, if
Yes.
it's not a full yes, drop it, right? And I think
Right.
like what was one quick fun note on that, I'll just say this real quick, is he ended up creating a product called Full Yes. I'm like, I'll take credit for that.
I'll take 5% of the revenue.
Yeah, just send it over here. But anyway, I
Yeah.
thought that was fun. But yeah, I think like we settle for the in between like way too much for sure.
Absolutely. And we're so taught to do that. We're really
Yeah.
programmed to do that. If it's not a yes or if it's not a no and you can, then you should. If you're
Mhm.
capable of doing it, then you should do it. And, as for anyone who's living in a state of response, it's really true that you're meant to wait until something is a full yes. And it can feel, one of the fears, if you will, of someone who's a sacral being like you are is like, if I turn down this thing that was kind of good, what if nothing else comes? So once
Right.
again, that
I love
trust
it.
and surrender comes back on play. Like,
Yeah.
we all have this fear of like the grass is always greener, or like if I turn down this thing, what if nothing better comes, or what if nothing comes at all? And impatience is a big theme there. But
Right.
instead, if you can learn how to say yes to only the things that are truly a hell yes, a complete yes, all of that, your life just becomes so much more delicious. And ultimately, you speed up your magnetism, you increase your
Yeah.
magnetism. Things come to you faster for you to respond to when you're living in that state. Whereas when you're living in a state of mediocrity, your magnetism is just going to be slow. It's going to feel like life is moving a bit in slow motion. So you don't, having impatience doesn't actually serve you. It's about being present and about trust.
Right, sure, I'll do this and I'll do that. I'll do it all. I'll do all.
Yeah.
Yes, all. Like,
Right.
I'm
I'll
like,
do
all right,
everything
yes,
and burn myself out. And yeah.
yeah. So, okay. Well, I know you guys have a place for people to learn more and to join your masterclass and everything. I'd love to talk to you guys for hours, but we won't have that much time today. So, so if you could tell them where they can learn more, especially to those reflectors, we don't want to leave that behind. But for everybody, it's really into what we're talking about. Like, where can they learn more? I know you have this free masterclass you share.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, we have a few different things that we always recommend people check out. So, if you're brand new to human design, a great free resource is our podcast, the DayLuna Human Design Podcast. Also, we have a book, which is Your Human Design. That's anywhere books are sold. And that's a great place to it really walks you through how to use your strategy and authority step by step. And it has all of them in there. So, if you have friends or family, like it's a great resource to be able to help everyone in your life or just even yourself have a daily practice of honoring your energy and your design. And if you are more advanced in human design, but you're maybe not giving readings yet, or you are, but you're wanting to really give impactful readings, kind of like what we've been talking about, using languaging that is empowering and cutting to the most impactful parts of their design. That's where our free masterclass comes in, where we talk about like the things each type really needs to know that's going to change their life versus, just a whole bunch of information, but it's not necessarily practical or experimentable. So that's our masterclass, and we'll link it. We'll send you the link to put in the show notes there, and that's completely free. And you can honestly start even giving readings just off of that. But yeah, we have so many things like Dana was saying. We have, a membership where we meet every month with a fellow human design besties is what we call it. And then we also have retreats, we have trainings. There's just so much out there because human design is such a vast system. We're so passionate about making it livable and fun and expansive and doing it in community in a way that is empowering.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. All right. Well, check that out, everybody. We'll put the link in the show notes. And if they wanted to find that and they can't find those show notes wherever they're listening, where should they go?
Yeah, you can go to daylunalife.com. That's our website, or our Instagram, which is at dayluna.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think that's great because I love that you guys are empowering people to be able to do readings, even if they don't do some big full boat, certification or course. Like, well, you're no good. Like, you can't even do any of it. So you're prohibited or whatever. And I like the openness of the way you guys approach. I don't know if everybody is like that, but like that you guys are promoting that. Like, hey, we could all do it to a little bit of a degree, and to utilize that. So I think everybody should get more competent and learn a little bit more about it, even if it's not your full-time gig. I found it to be valuable, just the bits and pieces that I've learned over the years. So check it out, guys. All right, so from here we're going into the energy scan spotlight, and looking forward to providing Shayna and Dana some downloads, which of course, for those of you listening in, you probably got an energy scan from me at some point. Maybe not, but a lot of you have gotten some scans from me. This is fun. So we're going to go ahead and do a little tuning in for you too, and I'll see what comes through. Dana and Shayna, are you ready to receive?
Yes.
Yes.
Excited.
All right, let's do it. Okay, just give me a moment and I'll tune into what's coming through. And for everybody listening, remember, this is for you too, because we're all connected. Yeah, I get this for a lot of people, but I do get, I saw you first, Shayna, in what came through, and it's interesting because I don't know if it's true. Maybe you're an ambivert, Shayna. I don't know, but Dana seems like an extrovert to me. Like it's just I don't know, but I'm just telling you like how it comes. But in terms of like past life energy, I'm seeing like Egyptian. You guys probably know a bunch of this stuff. You've been tuning in a bunch of stuff. But I see Shayna leading the way, and Dana, you're behind her actually. You're like in support of her, and so all these lifetimes of stuff that we're involved with. But I feel like you're you've always had like this welcoming. Like what they're showing me anyway is like you've often or all the time had sort of like this welcoming energy and kind of like, yeah, people, I'm here to help. And so you have a lot of that in your energy at least. And then Dana's like, but did you understand what she said? And let me tell you, and like she's like behind, like trying to like help manage things more. Like, okay, we need to take care of that. We need to take care of this. We need to take care of this. And so, like, I just see it overall in energy dynamics, but in this lifetime, it sort of shows up that way too. In other words, she's working the crowd. Dana's working the crowd. Like she's out there, like, hey, 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 hey. And then Shayna's like kind of like in the center. Like it doesn't mean she's better or anything, you know, right? It's just roles. Like she's more like in the center, like a centering energy, maybe is the way to look at it in a way. Like she's like, yeah, like we're here, and you know, like, and then your energy going all over the place, Dana, like. And so it's really cool. Anyway, so that's my first download. I'll give you two. I'll give you one more, and then we can talk about it. All right, let's see what's the next download. Huh. Okay. So what I'm getting is like they're giving me, you know, I don't know where your business is. We don't have to, you know, get on it on air, but like I get something like, yeah, like going to 1 million, and then I'm like, hmm. Then it's sort of like right now, like the energy is just kind of flattens a bit, like it's just like million, and it's like where does it go? And it's kind of like nothing, like there's no energy on it. So I just get like this rapid, like, you know, upstart energy you guys have had. And then it could be like it'd be something to like almost be proactive maybe about, like it's just my take on it. But like, man, how's it gonna grow past here, you know? So you guys maybe are already talking about it and stuff, so it's like you're really going to need to have, you know, you talked about patience. I think like you guys will need that too, like patience. Like, okay, the timing is just isn't there, you know, we need to just be more patient. And then the feeling is like, well, maybe it could really grow a lot more then, but it may sort of plateau for just a period where it's just kind of frustrating. How are we going to scale more? We know there's more, you know, like, so that's what's coming to me. So yeah, I just, like I say, I just share what comes through. So, Dana and Shayna, tell me any quick reflections or thoughts you had about what did come through.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so interesting. Yeah, and just well, it's funny. We just got back from Egypt. Well, I don't want to say just.
Oh,
We got back from
Our
Egypt
last
in
retreat was in Egypt.
oh yeah, I guess I
yeah.
did see that in your flyer.
Yeah. So definitely have a lot of energy connected there. And it's interesting that in that lifetime we had those roles. I feel like in this life we are swapped. And Dana is like
Swap the other way
in
around.
the center, and I'm like managing
No, I
managing
think it's
her.
this. I think it's this life too, in a way. I know what you're
I
saying.
agree. I agree with you, Daniel, not with Shayna. So
That's
we're
so funny.
opposites.
We would. So yeah, it's just so interesting. Yeah. And then with yeah, with the business, it is an interesting time because we are we have grown so much and had a lot of success. And now we've gotten it to a place where a lot of stuff is really passive for us. You know, we have a great team and they do a lot. I just moved to Europe. Dana's having a baby soon. I have a 1 year old, might have another baby. So it is like this timing thing of like, okay, what do we want to launch next? And, you know, how much actual time do we have to commit to building that? And do we want to wait until some things, you know, like till babies are here, or do we want to do it now? Like there is definitely timing things coming in at this time of like, all right, what do we want to do? But it feels very open and like, okay, we've built what we've built and it's doing good, but like what's next and what's on the horizon kind of energy. Would you agree, Dana? What else would you want to add there?
Yeah, totally. I feel like we reached a level of success that has served us right now and we're like comfortable there, but it's definitely both of us feel like we're meant to be on this higher octave. And the last like 2 years or even 3 years have been like, okay, when is that time? And like, it's
Right.
like, oh, well, we're starting families now. So it's like, not yet,
Right.
not yet,
Yeah.
not yet. And what we're doing right now, we really love, and we have an amazing community that we serve and we provide for ourselves and our families with our business. So what we're doing right now is working for us. But I think that we both know that there's this higher level that we want to achieve. And yeah, sometimes it feels like, you know, is it 5 years ahead from now, or is it 10 years ahead from now, or is it 1 year ahead from now? And the patience aspect and, you know, staying dedicated to what we're doing and not being discouraged by that, I think is definitely something that's a good message to receive.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad it resonates. Typically does, but you never know. Somebody might. Usually, in explanation, I can, as you know, you guys are readers too. I mean, the way you guys do it, but like, sometimes just more explanation helps to flesh it out. So,
Right.
but anyway,
Yeah.
everybody, if you want to learn more about energy scanning, go ahead, check out the Energy Scan Secrets call I've got coming up, where I will teach you about how you can do energy scanning. I do train people to do that. And also, I'll do energy scans for you, for the people that are there. Now, I can't promise all of you will be able to get an energy scan, but I'll be energy scanning people because that's the kind of guy I am. I love doing energy scans. And so check out the Energy Scan Secrets call I got coming up. And you can also check me out at yoursacredpurpose.com, where I got a free meditate and make money meditation that helps open up your energy. It helps you to feel into what's true, not true, what's want to come through, and listen to your guides and everything. So you can check that out at yoursacredpurpose.com. All right. So you guys, this has been really wonderful having both of you on. What a team. And yeah, just, when it comes to this human design stuff, I think like it's so exciting. I mean, you guys, all of you should just keep banding together more and more, I think, if you can. I mean, I think there is some ego in like, my human design is better than theirs. And so
Definitely.
we got to drop the egos, keep coming together, and like there's just so much momentum with the human design work. So congrats on what you've already done, the impact you're making, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Oh, thanks for
Oh,
having us. This was so fun.
yeah. And thank you for our energy reading. It was
Yes.
fantastic. And we're definitely going to sit with those messages. So thanks for having us.
Thank you. And thank you to our listeners. As I always say, keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till the next time. For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.